Hola compañero, thanks for joining me today. My name is Michael and today we have some cool new Vita Homebrew releases, new updates, some showcases and even some non-Vita Homebrew news. So let's get cracking. First new release is a port of Unsighted by Patnos D. I was teasing this game a while back and now it is here, officially available for all the Vita comrades. Well, as official as it can be in this homebrew game. It is on the GitHub and on VitaDB, so I'm saying it is official, and you can install it by following simple steps. You may know my hands are a bit tight in this field. YouTube doesn't want me to show you detailed step-by-step installation instruction. They always claiming it is harmful and dangerous content, in spite of the fact you need official game files, so let them be them. And let's thank them for allowing me and you to connect in here. Unsighted is a top-down Metroid and Zelda inspired game. Combat is solid with melee and ranged options. You can also block and dash. This is an initial release 0.3 that is playable, but it can have some lower FPS when there are more enemies on the screen. Therefore, it is recommended to fully overclock your Vita for best enjoyability. I like this initial release, even though it is not perfect. Must install? I say yes. Same like our second new release, done by Renegade, Android port of Splinter Cell Conviction. In my installation video, I mentioned that this is an old school game of masterpiece. Some people didn't agree. One guy said he would never use the word masterpiece, but I mean it, and I'm even repeating it. It is an old school Gameloft masterpiece. Initially released for Xperia Play, way back when it was in its prime, but this is again the definitive version of this game, at least in my opinion. Because we have once again all Vita joysticks and buttons supported. We can even set joystick sensitivity and bunch of other graphical settings that you can find in the configurator app before launching the game. And we can even set the frame rate to 60 FPS instead of original 30. Oh yeah! I truly love these configurators, they are so useful, thumbs up to Rin for them, as well as for the port. It is perfectly playable, even the update 1.1 was recently released, with a fix to a bug in Mission 5. Background music can sometimes cut off, then it carries on normally after like 20 seconds. Other than that, there might be some occasional stutter, but overall, must install old school Gameloft masterpiece, yes again, and I again absolutely mean it. Third new release is yet another solid game, native port of Dungeons and Degenerate Dragons. No, I mean Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers. Yes, that's a bit better. Shout out to this guy for doing the hard work and porting it over. Basically, it is like a Balatro. That one also, by the way, received recently Vita port. But this one is not based on a poker, but on a blackjack instead. And let me tell you, I like it. I like it even a bit more than Balatro. Maybe because the rules are easier to understand for me. You just get a card or pass a card until you get 21 or you're closest to it, and that's pretty much it. In spite of its simpleness, it was holding my attention more firmly than Balatro. So if you are a fan of that one, check this one too, you might be surprised. Again, this is an initial release with some issues that you can see on the screen right now. And this time there are no installation instructions besides installing the VPK and having a lot of fun. Happy days! Now very important news. If you haven't coded yet, Killzone Mercenary online multiplayer is back. Yes, right now, in March 2025, you can play online versus real Vita comrades. Setup instructions are very easy. You just need to have the game installed with the latest update. Then installed Mirage installer and that's it. Launch the game and kill or get killed. This works only on modded Vita, and remember to have ITLS Enzo installed and to be logged into your PSN account. And clearly you need to have your firmware spoofed. These are great news. Check my previous video to find out more. Thanks to Vita Forever Discord for making it happen. They are now hosting even some events. and I've seen there are already banned few cheaters. Because clearly we want to have a lot of fun, fair fun, not some cheaters heaven. Thumbs up for that. Next we have a new tool called Rabbid Multi-Tool, developed by this guy. It is a toolbox for PS Vita and you can customize it however you want. And it can do a lot of things. It combines a lot of different homebrews and tools into one single application, which is very handy in my opinion. So here there are a few categories: database tools, app tools, account tools, registry tools, miscellaneous tools, tie-hand tools, file manager, settings. In the database tools you can backup your icon layout, restore backed up icon layout, and you can also rebuild the database or update database and import media. When you go into app tools, there are all the apps displayed. If I press X on Midnight Deluxe, for example, I can launch the app. I can change bubble and live area images. I can change bubble title, and I can uninstall the app. When I go into account tools, I can view my PSN account info. So your PSN ID, email, password, and nickname. You can also backup account, restore your account, and remove account. In the registry tools, you can reset parental passcode, reset screen lock passcode, and modify any registry key. In the miscellaneous tools, there is font previewer, SFO tools, file downloader, FTP and USB. This application is still in active development, so you might encounter some errors. There is also file manager, and you can also customize the application the way you want. You can use custom background, custom font, and you can also check for updates in case there's gonna be any updates for the app in the future. You can update it within itself. Very cool application with a lot of useful features. Keep up the good work, brother. I'm looking forward to new updates. Now, huge shout out to all of my Patreons and joiners for your continuous support. I do appreciate every single one of you, and it truly drives me forward, alongside the cool new latest homebrew releases. Like an update for Cartoon Combat Flying Circus. Mr. Kane and his Patreons decided that this is the game he's gonna be working on from now on, out of the 4 he offered. This is like a flying combat simulator game where you need to finish the mission to gain the control over the territory and progress further. It is an active development, but the developer has already implemented new game types besides the normal dogfights where you fight in the air and shoot down enemy planes. There is a new strafing run, bombing run, and tail gunner, among other plethora of changes. You can see the detailed changelog on the screen right now. I do really like these new gaming modes. I think it adds a lot of variety and a lot of fun. Clearly he's working alone, so he cannot be creating giant detailed worlds. But this direction seems like a correct one in my opinion. It's not gonna be too repetitive. One mission will be dogfight, another one will be bombing and then tail gunner. Then he can just rank up the difficulty, put there stronger enemies or more enemies. And we don't even know, and Cool Homebrew is here. I think he's done a lot of progress in very short time. I'm a fan, keep it up, brother. Remember, you can still join his Patreon from just $1 and have direct impact for the game development. There was also an update for SwitchFin, third-party client for Jellyfin, that provides a native UI to browse and play movies and series. Transcode audio codec was fixed, and you can now also rotate the video. MU for Vita++, RetroArch alternative is now available also on VitaDB. So you can download it directly to your Vita without the need of PC, but you definitely gonna need PC for transferring the ROMs over. Next we have a new root exploit based on a Dirty Cow vulnerability made specifically with Xperia phones in mind. It was done by Lee. It has been confirmed to work on Xperia Play, Xperia S and Sony Tablet P. There are few root methods already available for Xperia Play. This is yet another one. You just need to download and install latest release on your PC, connect your phone, enable debugging and unknown sources, wait for a minute and two, and that's it. Now the device is exploited, then we just need to run the supersu, update the binary and install all the apps that need root access. I'm very glad to see some new release even on the Xperia Play front. I know usually I'm just covering handhelds, but the latest Xbox 360 bet update hack deserves a mention for sure too. This is a software-only hypervisor exploit for any Xbox 360 model running the latest firmware. You only need a demo of the Rock Band Blitz and FAT32 formatted USB to trigger it. The success rate of triggering the exploit is about 30%, so it doesn't work every single time, but more like every other time, and it can take up to 20 minutes to be triggered. It takes a while because this exploit is a race condition that requires precise timing and several other conditions to be met for it to trigger successfully. This exploit is not persistent, it only works for as long as the console is kept on. Once you turn it off, you need to trigger the exploit again. This vulnerability unfortunately cannot be turned into a soft mod, because Xbox 360 boot chain is very secure. When I bought my first Xbox, I was exploring some options of hacking it, but I found out there were only few intricate methods that require a lot of work. In the end, I decided it's not worth it, and I just played official games that I installed on my hard drive. This hack is mind-blowing progress in my opinion, and it's very cool to see people still keep working on these hacks and discovering new methods even in 2025, after such a long time. Big up to the Grim Doomer for this discovery. I'm sure it made many people super happy. Last but not least, some showcases. Rin is working on a new Gameloft football game, and people are hyping up this YouTube video, so I'm gonna add to the hype and cover it too. In the video, the guy is playing Jet Set Radio Future, the Xbox version, on the PS Vita, at mostly 60 FPS. This is a Jet 2 engine, rendered totally incorrectly. In spite of that, it was running surprisingly good. Dreamcast version of Jet Set Radio has a native official Vita port. I like it a lot. I never played this Xbox version, but it looks like I would also enjoy it a lot. Is it gonna happen though? Not sure. Video was released 4 months ago. There was no update ever since. But there is one thing Vita comrades are good at: never losing a hope. So, stay positive, brother, and look into the future positively with open mind. Because you know, without failure and losing, there is never a progress or gaining. If you enjoyed this video, show it some love, comment, like, subscribe, join. I would like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!